she's been known for writing and performing her opening monologue to her one-woman show, The Diary of an Afro-Goddess. This year in 2019, in February, she's returning to do her thing in her one-woman show with a little twist. But among that, in addition to other roles, she is featured in a lot. Here is a look at her other featured roles. Take a look.
She lies when she calls herself a mother. She says she helps us. She's just a selfish, greedy freak. Home sweet home.
Don't kick me.
Bésame, bésame mucho. Bésame mucho.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know the song.
I apologize for something that I did that was right. You know what? You a bougie bitch.
Ooh. Well, look, no matter what comes out of her mouth, we love her to death no matter what. So please welcome the fabulous and talented Cherie Danielle! I would never use that in front of my children if I had kids.
Dangerous.
Yes.
So all the risky stuff. You had all the risky. I have clean rolls too.
Yeah, it's good though. I love it though.
Disney films say anything?
Not yet, but still trying to go there. Yeah.
Well, it's coming soon, but listen, let's just talk about your one-woman show. You're returning in February for your one-woman show, The Diary of an Afro-Goddess, and you're doing a little twist. Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, this is the first time I've ever done a festival. I mean, the show premiered in 2016.
Yes.
And, you know, I did it at the Wild Cafe Theater. Then I went on to do it at the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. And I also did it at the Shabazz Center. And then I did it in Atlanta. But this is the first time I've ever gotten into a festival. So I'm going to actually be competing against other plays. And they'll have, like, a Best Actress category, a Best Play category. So with this competition, because it's a solo show, I could only do it 45 minutes. So that was like difficult for me because the original version is like 1 hour and 20 minutes. So this is like, I had to make like some cuts, but to still get like the story across. But I think I did a pretty good job. So it should still be, it should still be fun.
That's a lot of time to cut off.
That is.
Yeah,
That's
I know, but you know,
So
if it's a good story and you have the pinpoints, then I think I can still get the message that I want to get across. So
Yeah, I could see why you did a good job because you had received an award nomination for the Outstanding Solo Performance in 2016. And you were honored by the Core 4 POW, which is the Powerful Organization of Women. So tell us what it was like when you heard about this, or how did you feel when this happened?
Well, when I got the Adelco Award nomination, I was so happy. I think I like cried because ever since I moved to New York, I moved to New York in like 2010. I was like 18. Like I came there like as a teenager from Atlanta. And I started to hear about this award called the Adelco, and like all the actors that I knew that I liked, that I saw in off-Broadway shows, doing Black theater, keeping Black theater alive, were all nominated for Adelcos and like winning Adelcos. So that was like always one of my big goals, to like, you know, get nominated for an Adelco Award. So I was really happy about that. And then when I was nominated by POW, like that was just amazing too, because there's just like a lot of strong, powerful women who are like making moves. So it was really nice to be honored in that too, because you know everything I do is definitely for, you know, to keep the sisters alive and up. So yeah.
Good.
Wow.
I see that you got a lot of experience doing hosting, modeling, hula hoop, spoken word, improv, and singing. Yes. That's good. You do a lot. So what do you love the most about?
Well, acting is my main thing. I mean, that's just like little special skills to like help me stand out with certain characters. But acting's what I've been doing since I was a child. I went to performing arts high school, so I also was a vocal music minor, and I always would write stuff too. I would write songs and And so once I graduated and got up here, like writing a show was just kind of like, it was always in me, but also once I got into a workshop, it really pulled it out of me.
Right.
So, yeah.
Wow, that's so amazing.
You got to show us how to do the hula hoop because I'm still having trouble with that.
Right? That would be fun.
Please.
Oh, man.
Please.
That's really good. So what advice would you give to people who want to get into acting?
I think what I always say is you have to create your own work is very important, especially this day and age, especially as an artist of color. I think we all need to be creating our own stories, our own narratives, because this is a time where diversity is very wanted and needed right now. So I think we definitely need to take advantage of that. So I think we all should be writing our own stuff. If we don't know how to write, you need to be meeting other people who know how to write and helping just develop stories. So that was very important to me because although I had an agent and a manager, I didn't really start booking like TV or film stuff until I did my solo show, ironically, you know, and I think it's a different confidence that you have when you walk into a room and you creating your own words and your own work. You're not so worried about, oh, I need this job, oh, I need this gig, because it's like you already got your own thing going on.
True.
So I think you have to create, but to stay mindful of the industry. So yeah, fight to get an agent, fight to get a manager, fight to go on auditions, but always be creating your own things. So when you don't have auditions to go to, you're still feeling like an artist.
Right.
You know?
That's good
So
advice.
how important is blackness to you? Because I see his hair, it just screams at me right now, so I have to know. It's screaming at me, so how
You
important
know,
is it?
there was an Instagram post you should have seen. You had like a straight hair. I was hoping that you were coming straight here because I like the look, you know?
I love this.
But this is also
love
good
this,
as
yeah.
well. I love it.
I mean, that's the whole thing about black hair. It's versatile. I think that's what I talk about in the Diary of an Afro-Goddess. I mean, yeah,
Yes.
I have an afro and I talk about the afro throughout the show, but I talk about the versatility of us as a people. You know, our hair isn't just like hair for us. It's a part of our culture, you know? I mean, we came here with different hair. We had to assimilate to try to make our hair look like what was
acceptable.
accepted and what was acceptable. And then we got to the point where we were comfortable as ourselves and could wear our hair we want. So it's like a huge point in African American history. So so hair and blackness and all that is really important to me because I think, like I said, nowadays you have this thing like that's gotten really popular over there. Like, everybody's talking about cultural appropriation, and I think it's nobody really is aware of like the things that they do that may be offensive to other communities because they don't talk about the history or like the heart of the struggle of it, you know, so much, and that the layers of it aren't always broadcast. So I think that's another thing that was so important for me with this project.
Yes.
Right. Wow.
Wow.
Amazing.
Go
Blown
ahead,
away.
Johnny. Or no, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So what should I? So I see that you got good training. So what did you learn so far that helped you with your career?
I think for me, like I said, everybody's journey is different. You know, I was at a conservatory, and then I didn't, complete my journey at a conservatory. I was only there my first year here, and then it wasn't until I started working with my own personal acting coach, Mariska S. Phillips. Once I started working with her is when I really started to find myself as an actor. So I feel like to the actors out there, I think getting training is important. I don't think any actor, any person should be so confident to be like, I don't need class. I got this. I'm good. I think Denzel Washington still goes to acting classes.
Yeah.
He still works out stuff. So you should never feel
Denzel?
like,
Yeah.
he still works out. Like all these actors, they work out, you know, like it's a skill. It's
That's
like
humbling right
being
there,
a
yeah.
boxer, it's like being a football person, it's whatever. You have to work it out. So I think you need to find what works for you, find a teacher you feel comfortable with, and just find a classroom or wherever you feel comfortable learning and just grow there as much as you possibly can.
Yeah. And that will lead to an EGOT right there, you know. Emmy, Golden Globe, Grammy,
Yeah.
Tony, and Oscar.
Yeah, man. Like you have people like Whoopi, John Legend who have that. Like, you think they ever just said, like I said, well, I'm good. I don't,
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Go ahead, Johnny.
I just want to ask about the one-woman show and how that really works. How do you do that? Because that's very interesting to me, so I just want to know.
Well, solo shows can be different. I've seen many solo shows like since I've been in New York, even before I was in New York, I saw solo shows. So there can be solo shows where there's one person literally playing like 20 characters. I've seen stuff like that. Or that you have shows like mine where I centrally just play my character. I tell stories about other characters and kind of embody different characters as I tell the story. But for the most part, I remain one consistent character. You just see different different levels, and I just tell the story through that character's perspective. But I've seen shows that were literally written like a regular August Wilson, Tennessee Williams play, but they had one person just sit here, and then sit there, and then sit here, and it was like crazy.
That's what actually came to my mind when you said that.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of different styles, but it's different, you know, because you have to really use your imagination with the solo show.
So was it more difficult for you to do a solo show than other roles, or?
I think it was difficult for me because I wrote it. So this is like my first time writing something that long, so I wanted to make sure every message and everything that I did got across the way I wanted it to get across. So I think I put a lot of pressure on myself to make sure everything was executed properly, because it's like I was the playwright and the actor, so it's like he was like, I didn't know you skipped that. And I was like, but I know I skipped that part. And it was really important, you know, for me to say that. So
I kind of want to talk to you briefly, because you, in terms of like when you were on set filming back in June, you had experienced something where they weren't like real guns, they were like fake guns, but the police had got involved and you were almost like attacked on this. And it was like, you know, I mean, it must have had hurt you when that happened. So, but how did that make you feel when you got involved with police brutality and so forth?
Well, like I said, I didn't go into a situation thinking anything like that would happen. I mean, I'm used to, I'm still in the intermediate state of my career. So a lot of times, I do low budget projects. And with this, I got called in. My friend knew somebody. I literally got this part like 2 days before it happened, because somebody else dropped out. And they're like, oh, do you want to do it? I'm like, okay. So it's like an indie project. I already know firsthand with most indie projects, we cut corners. Like, we don't necessarily get licenses for every single place and everything. We're kind of like sneaking over here and sneaking over there, and trying our best to just film wherever we can film. So with this, we were filming in an abandoned building and we were using fake guns. And I'm thinking to myself, I was thinking, oh, maybe because we were filming in an abandoned building, like the police may come and tell us we can't film anymore. But I never thought they would think we had real guns.
Right.
So that was crazy. Like, we were literally finishing that day and putting up the fake guns, and then a whole SWAT team came out.
Wow.
A whole SWAT team was like out, and they were like, drop everything, And I didn't have any fake gun in my hand at the time, but there was other people that were in the set that had them. Some were black, so I was like, oh my gosh, it was so creepy. But the whole thing was the police knew by the second they saw us have like, a craft station and like a food station, and they saw like a tripod. It's kind of, you can figure out we're not like gangsters, but they had to go procedures. So they were like, everybody get down on the floor, get on your knees. And by then I had started crying, because that's when it got real for me. It's like, y'all are really gonna make us get on the ground? Like, y'all see a camera, y'all see a crafty station, all this stuff. So then I started crying. I think me crying, like, that's when like one of them started to kind of feel bad. I was like, all right, y'all can stand up. But it was intense. I guess what happened was there's a train passing where we were filming, and the train, saw people with guns, I mean, I'm pretty sure they didn't care about our complexion at all, but they saw people with guns. They're like, okay, this must be a gang or something. And and they tipped off the police, and it just became like this big deal. I think the saddest part was my director, who was like around the corner and kind of like going to his car. Like, I think they grabbed him from the bushes and like tackled him or something, because they thought he was like trying to escape. So
they've been plotting. It was
like they really had been thinking about that, because we had been there for hours. So I think maybe somebody in the first train saw, and this had been like hours of planning, like, we got to get these people.
Yeah.
So it was pretty intense. My art director felt horrible. It was, I don't know. We didn't really get to finish the project. I still got paid though, but
but do you plan on finishing it anytime soon or so?
I mean, the director, me and him been talking, and we're definitely gonna like work on some things in the future. I think that project was supposed to specifically go into a festival that has already passed, but I'm gonna still work with him again soon. I mean, I'm definitely not gonna work with him in weapons, but he's a good guy, so it happens. But yeah, that was traumatic.
Yes. Well, let's look at the bright side, Cherie. You're still alive, and you're still here.
Still here.
And that's the main thing.
Yes.
And we're glad that you came and spread the love and everything around us. You come back anytime.
Yes.
In fact, would you like to stick around, and because I think we got a catwalk. We are about to learn
I love
something.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm always trying to get my catwalk together. Yeah.
That'll be your little hula hoop lesson for us, I guess. But anyway, but our special thanks to Cherie Danielle. The Diary of an Afro-Goddess returns in February at the New York Winter Fest at the Hudson Guild Theater. Do yourselves a favor, everyone, and check out this marvelous, great show. It'll be February 14th at 9 p.m., February 16th at 1 p.m., and February 17th at 6 p.m. I thank goodness I got it.
Yeah. You better know those dates and times. You know better than me.
Because I've been studying. We'll be right back here.
That was scary.